Throughout history, there have been countless unexplainable stories, events, and moments captured on audio. These horrifying tapes were archived, never to be heard again. Until now. These are the tapes of trepidation. Tape number 37. Candy for Ghosts. The first Halloween after everyone died was as uneventful as you would expect. I ran naked through the streets eating stolen candy and drunkenly singing Monster Mash. It's the sort of thing you do when everyone in the world is dead and you lost everything that matters. Of course, there is no you. There's only me. There's only ever me. The one the sickness left behind to suffer. The second Halloween after everyone died, I was planning on killing myself come New Year. I sat in the ruins of a rich person's home. I think he'd been a doctor or a lawyer or something. I wore his crimson silk bathrobe. I smoked his cigars. I was living what remained of someone else's good life. Then I heard a knock at the door. But of course I didn't. It would have been impossible. Except it happened again. I made my way to the big carved oak door. I slowly turned the brass knob and pulled. A 4-foot-tall mummy stood before me in the doorway. There was a line of other children in various costumes. They stretched halfway down the block.
Trick or treat,
Was all the ghost in the mummy costume said before I slammed the door in this 10-year-old face. I watched through the blind as the dead children walked off disappointed. I half expected them to throw eggs or toilet paper. One by one, they faded out of the world until there was nothing but shadow and empty air where they had once been. I guess it's true what they used to say about the veil between this shithole and the next being thinner on Halloween. It's either that, of course, or I've gone insane. I'm probably not insane. Reality is a sharp knife which I feel at all times. Anyway, as the old song goes, the years kept coming and they did not stop coming. Each Halloween, the children would arrive at my door in their costumes. I'd sit in the darkness and wait for them to leave. Eventually, the children would head off disappointed. I would be alone in the world again. The dead would be dead. No more uncomfortable reminders of lost hopes and dreams. This year was different. Maybe it's the loneliness that's gotten to me. Maybe I've come to accept that I will be a ghost in the not-too-distant future. Maybe I just miss the way things used to be. This year I journeyed into the remains of what was once a grocery store. After much searching, I found what I was looking for and carried it home. The it in question was a massive bag of caramel and green apple suckers. They were the sort of thing I used to freaking love as a kid. My aunt would give them to me if I stayed still and didn't cry while she cut my hair. This year, when the kids arrived, I was standing in the doorway of the dilapidated mansion holding a big bowl of suckers. I even donned a pair of plastic vampire fangs I'd found in the closet. The kids came up to me one by one, or in pairs. I would compliment their costumes. They'd thank me for the candy. There wasn't any talk of what had happened to them or the world. It didn't matter anymore. Everything was as it was supposed to be. Then the children went away. They were always gonna do that. The ghosts in my mind are now my only company. Still, there's always next year. I'll be alright. Happy Halloween, I whisper to myself as I stare drunkenly at the ceiling. Maybe next year one of those smiling faces will belong to my son. He always liked those suckers too. This has been tape number 37, Candy for Ghosts, by the Tapes of Trepidation Horror Narration Podcast. Candy for Ghosts was written by Capulet and was originally posted on the Creepypasta Wiki. On a side note, this talented author, who goes by his real name Matthew J. Gleason on Amazon, has some wonderful novella content, which you can find on Amazon, as well as the Kindle store. Check it out and support the talented people who make up the Creepypasta Wiki community. You'll find Matthew's Facebook in the show notes. Music for this episode was provided by Zero, with a link to their YouTube channel in the show notes. The Tapes of Trepidation theme was written by the incredible J.M. Scherf. All logos, banners, overlays, and graphic design work was provided by the very talented Jason Reese from Jaybridges at Large. If you have a story you would like to submit, or a question regarding the show, please contact us at tapesoftrepidation@gmail.com. Support the show by subscribing and leaving a rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcatcher, or like and subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to hit that bell notification button as well, so that you can be notified when a new episode drops. And be sure to tell your friends. Word of mouth is extremely helpful to a new podcast like this one. Check us out on social media through the link tree in the show notes. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. If you use Discord and you're not a part of the Tapes of Trepidation Discord community, stop what you're doing, go to the link tree in the show notes, and join the Discord. We have a lot of fun over there, talking about the show, sharing memes, sharing music, hell, even sharing meals, and there's a lot of other fun times. I also go live on there as often as I can, so come hang out with us. If you'd like to support the show a little more, consider joining the Tapes of Trepidation Patreon, where for as little as $5 a month, you can gain access to bonus story narrations. You'll get at least one a month, the weekly behind-the-scenes podcast within the archive, and more. Come, join us, and become trapped within the archive. Just like my current patrons: Neil Skarupa of Neurotic Voice, Doozer Pindan, Ronan Komori, Eric Phones, and Patrick Stewart. Thank you all so much for the support. All content used on Tapes of Trepidation is either original, used with permission, or is available under a Creative Commons share-alike license. All rights reserved unless otherwise stated. A copy of each story's share-alike license can be found in the show notes. This podcast and its content may not be redistributed or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Tapes of Trepidation and the story's author. Thank you so much for listening.